What's up, everybody? I'm gonna let this just play for a minute. How's it going, everybody? It's kind of an impromptu kind of live today. I was just feeling kind of, I don't know, a little ranty. I've been smoking a little. I'm feeling nice. I hope everybody's having a good day. If you're not, I'm glad you're here. Maybe you can come out of this feeling a little bit better. My day's been kind of so-so. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty good, actually, because most days are pretty good, and even the days that have like seemingly speed bumps, roadblocks, issues that come up, like I realize that those things are opportunities. That's the universe saying, hey, here's something you need to look at. You know what I mean? So even those are not bad if you realize that there are opportunities to grow and focus on something that needs attention. And so when you view life that way and the things that happen, everything kind of becomes a blessing, you know, so you're kind of always winning. But on that note, I kind of wanted to rant about being stuck in old stories and how to go about like rewriting your future, like getting out of that trap of that old story. Because so many of us do. Like, we're stuck in these old stories because that's like all we know is old stories. Our life up to this point, you know, like we're operating from a programming, you know, and it dictates everything that happens in life around us. It dictates how we perceive that speed bump or roadblock. It dictates the action that we take when we reach it. You know, do we just turn around and go back the way we came? Do we find a way around it, or do we slow down and navigate the roadblock and get to the other side and continue like on our journey? And so, hey, what's up, Robert? Glad you could join in. Yeah, nice, random this is. And so it's that programming that starts when we're kids. You know, like we all know this. It's kind of common knowledge at this point that those formative years, you know, up to like 5, 7 maybe, are general subconscious programming has been set. Like in the background operating system of our brain, that's where we're operating from, is that programming that happened like way back, times we can't even remember. You know, like in some of the moments that created that programming, you might not even remember now. But everything else after that is us living life, creating memories and stories, and living life from this program mindset when we're young, but we don't even realize it. It's like through our whole lives. Like a lot of people don't even realize it now, you know, like that we're living this program life. And so we create memories based on this past, on this life and this story that we've lived up till now, with whatever traumas are involved, whatever self-sabotage and all that stuff. Because what happens is we start living these self-fulfilling prophecies. Like we all do it, you know, and the question becomes like, what prophecy are you fulfilling? But if all we know is this story that we've been living, that's all we can operate from, if that makes sense. Like we're operating all these decisions, the way we perceive everything around us, all of the relationships we have. And it's not even like, when I say relationships, I don't just mean like intimate human to human relationships. I mean our relationships with absolutely everything. The relationship we have with money, the relationship we have with jobs and work, and like the way we perceive all those things. It affects all of that stuff. Like, for example, with the money, something I had to realize with myself is I grew up kind of, you know, middle income for the most part, but I always, for a long time, because I was very activist, and I was always calling truth to power, and I became very angry at the notion of wealth and money, you know what I mean? And like, I hated rich people. They were like the bane of society was wealth and rich people, and as I've kind of gone on this journey of finding myself and being truly authentic and becoming more consciously aware of what I'm putting out into the world, like my thought process and where I'm operating from, and changing my story, my mindset. I had to change my my relationship with money and how I viewed it, because I'm realizing, like, if you're in a relationship with something, it's a give and take kind of thing, you know. And so if I'm coming from this place of, like, I don't like wealth, you know, I hate money and just all this stuff, you know, like money is the root of all evil. But it's like, if money is the root of all evil, then greed is the seed. You know what I mean? So is money really the problem, or is it greed? You know, I dare say at this point, money is not the root, it is not the issue. It's greed that is attached to money that then creates this, you know, what we have now, basically. But I had to change my relationship with money and how I viewed money, because I want money. Like, I want money. Like, who doesn't, you know? But if I'm hating on money all the time, it's not gonna flow to me, you know? If you're in a relationship with something and it's telling you, like, I don't like you, you're the bane of his existence, you're the root of all evil, you're not gonna want to have any part of it. You're gonna bounce. You're gonna steer clear of it. It's the same kind of thing with money. It's just kind of like green energy is all money is. Like, I had to come to look at money that way. It's green energy. It's green energy. It allows a lot of things to happen, you know. And the problem with money is it gets hoarded and it's not flowing. It's like contained energy, and that's like a time bomb. It's just gonna blow up one day, which is how collapses and shit happen. But that's not the point. Again, this is a rant. But the point is, like, I had to change that part of my story. And so another part of my story is drug addiction. And, like, we all do this, and we make these choices from this old story and these old memories. Like, we're operating from memories. Like, we get in a relationship. I'll use relationships. They're a great example for a variety of things. But you get in this relationship and it's great. It's great. Like, everything feels great. But your story is telling you, the story that you've been living and the story in your mind tells you, this isn't, something bad's gonna happen, because good things like this don't happen to me. Like, something bad's gonna happen, I'm gonna get hurt. And so, because that's the story, and based on your memories of all of this past hurt or whatever in past relationships, you're gonna make choices based on that story, because your story is failed relationships. Your story doesn't include a healthy, successful relationship. It doesn't include that. So therefore, how do you even know? You know what I mean? And so it's completely foreign. It scares you away, and you've told yourself your whole life, this doesn't happen to me. This can't be right. Something bad's going to happen. And then you'll self-sabotage it to where something does. You'll push away. You'll push the people away. You'll do whatever, however it plays out, you know. And so many people are operating from that place. Like, you know, two people come together that have all these past relationship problems, horrible relationships. They find themselves together. But if both of them are coming from a place of, this is not part of my story, it's going to they will both self-sabotage that shit until it falls apart. You could have met the person of your dreams and found yourself connected to them a million times already, but you couldn't, it wasn't part of your story. Therefore, my story says my relationships fail. So that's the story I'm going to live. And so what I want to try and, like, impress upon people is, let's create new memories. Because when we're operating from those memories and we get stuck in, we're just living our stories from this almost robotic place, because we're just programmed that way. The world around us is being pushed in a direction that other people want, you know. And so when you get trapped, that story is being written too. This dystopian future story is being written too. And it's because it's a story. And it's a story that's been built on from our past stories that we've been living up till now, and everything that's being fed right now, you know. And people are talking about it more again. So much dystopian talk, because that's the story. That's the story we're writing. This fucking story, willingly, like, we're willingly stepping into that story and writing it. We don't have to. Like, we can write whatever story we fucking choose, but until you get control of your own story and yourself and you become authentic, we can't do anything about really what's up here. Like, we have to start writing it individually. And so what I would propose and suggest, and this is what I do and have been trying to do, not trying, because I'm trying to eliminate the word try, because try doesn't lead to success. It could lead, try can become an excuse. Oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, and you never actually achieve anything when you try. So what I'm doing in the present moment is creating future memories. I'm creating future memories. I'm creating memories. If we're operating from memories, like so much of the time in this belief system, why not? We don't have to operate from the old story. You can replace those memories with whatever the fuck you want. What are your dreams? Replace them with that and create future dreams. And think about those. Like, when you reach those roadblocks that your old story would say, turn around, create a future memory that you're operating from. You're operating from future memories. This future that you want, of the life you want, the person you want to be, and just think about it. Some circles would call it Kai Legoing. I can't tell you how to spell that shit. I have no idea. But the point being is, imagine a point in the future that you want and create a memory around it, like a real memory. I don't mean just like imagine it. Like, I'm fortunate. I have a very vivid imagination. Sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's a curse. It kind of just depends on what I'm imagining. You know what I mean? If I'm imagining my old story of hurt and pain and fucked up relationships and just everything that came along, drugs, then that's what the fuck it's gonna be. But I'm not writing that story anymore. I'm writing a new fucking story. And so I create, if I let my imagination exist in that place, I would still be living in that place. But I don't. I imagine a future that I want. Like, for example, this radio show that I just started last week. I've imagined myself doing a radio show. Like, I created that memory like it's already happened. And it sounds silly, I know, and new agey, and it's definitely law of attraction. It's manifesting, and it's all of that stuff that a lot of people want to dismiss, but it's real. The fact that you self-sabotage based on your old story proves that manifesting is real based on your thought process. Because if your thought process is on the old story, you're going to continue living the old story and manifesting all that old story shit into your life, because it works. So just replace it with the future. Just focus on the future. Don't leave the past behind you. You're going to just keep crashing if you keep looking in the rearview mirror. Take your eyes off the rearview mirror and look on the road ahead of you. And what do you want? Because the way it works is, whatever you've got going on in your head, that's whatever story you've got going on in your head, is what you are going to see around you. Like, everything that happens around you and that you see and notice is going to support that, because that's what you believe. And we're going to find things that support what we believe. So if you're living an old story of hurt and trauma, you're going to find everything to support hurt and trauma. If you're writing a dystopian future, you're going to find everything to support and dictate and facilitate a dystopian future. If you don't want a dystopian future, focus on a utopian future. Like, create, like, what kind of world do you want? Never mind the world. What kind of life do you want for yourself? And do it. I imagine myself a million times doing a radio show. I've lived it. I've like had that moment in my head, like it's already happened. And it happened. It happened. And it took quite some time. But what I've learned, and it was said to me so many times in my life, was get out of your own way. Like, your biggest problem, Casey, is you got to get out of your own way. And I never knew what the hell that meant until I started really realizing how manifesting works and how your thoughts creating your reality actually works. And it's not trying to control the situation. Don't control the journey. All you have to do, like, seriously, it's just fucking easy, but you have to do it for real, and you have to believe it. Believe in yourself. And the more authentic you become, the easier it becomes. You have to, like, I lost my train of thought there for a moment. When you imagine the future that you want, and you believe it, And that's what you're focused on, is this future. The things that happen around you, you're going to start noticing it, and it's going to support that future. Are you following me? You know what I mean? Like, just as much as you repeat your own story because of the memories, you need to repeat that future and just live there. Just live there. And then get out of the way. And that doesn't, like, manifesting doesn't mean you just have this thought and then you sit back and wait for it. I mean, you kind of do, but that's not how it works. Where we get fucked up is trying to control the journey to the outcome. All we have to do is have the outcome. Your body and everything, and if you have an imagination, doesn't know the difference between something that's happened or something that you're telling it. That's how the body works. The mind controls it all. You know what I mean? And so you can feel that moment. Just imagine it. Whatever your dream is, you know. I imagine having a radio show. I imagine this healthy relationship. I've felt it. I've imagined it a million times. I've gotten in the way of it a lot. But like at this moment in time, like I feel like I have it. You know, relationships require nurturing, you know, but everything is great. I love it. And I feel like I've imagined this radio show a million times. There it is. And what takes so long for our things to manifest, again, is us trying to control how it happens. That's the, Casey, you got to get out of your own way. Because we think we know best. And so we try and like dictate how it happens. And that's not ours to do. All you have to do is dream it. Just dream it and believe it. And live from that memory. Operate from those memories. When you hit those roadblocks in life, operate from the memory of where you're going. Where you're going. Keep your eyes on the prize kind of shit. You know? Because you're not going backwards. Unless, I mean, I guess if you want to, but why would you want to? You know? Don't let old stories and external forces dictate the journey you're on. And if you want a better life than you have right now, and you're stuck in these loops, look at that old story. Find the things that you like about yourself. The things that you love about yourself, find them, because they came from that story. You wouldn't be the person you are right now without that story, good or bad. Keep the good. Leave the fucking rest. Just leave it. Close the fucking book. Close the book and write a new one. And I'm not even talking turn the page and start a new chapter. No new chapters. Close that fucking book. That is an old story. That is volume 1 or whatever fucking volume you're on. Point is, close the goddamn book. That book is over. You have this character of these loving things that developed from that first story. This character development, if you're a writer, if you will, that old story developed the character you are now. And you take the things you love and you build from that. And you take those things you love and you say, what do I want to do with my life? Because I'm done living this old story. I want this for my life. I want to do this. And then just imagine it. Put on some good music. You know what I mean? And just sit back. Whatever you got to do to relax your mind and just dream. Just dream. Like, use that time to dream instead of like worrying about that old story. Because you don't need to worry about the old story anymore. It's on the fucking shelf. You got blank pages now, kids. You got blank pages. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna write? What are you gonna draw? What are you gonna create? What are you gonna do? Who do you want to be? You can be whoever you want to be. The book's on the shelf. You can be whoever you want to be now. Blank slate. And it's up to you. Create future memories and live from them. Operate from them. You know, use old memories when they pop up to learn from, to remind you, that's my old story. That's the old me. I'm not that person no more. But I'm so thankful for that story that, listen, my old story is full of hard shit. You know, my current story is full of hard shit. But not really, because I'm living more authentically. And I have a deeper understanding of myself. And when you have a deeper understanding of yourself, like legit, I'm not talking like, it's not easy. It requires honesty with yourself and like your own bullshit. But once you do, and the more authentic you become, the more you understand everybody around you. There's no way you can. We're all human beings. That's why my thing says Casey's feeling human. We're all human. Like, we're all experiencing the same shit. And like quantum physics, or, you know, if you want to get all, I don't know, metaphysical or whatever term you want to put to it. Let me turn the music down. I was trying to illustrate a point, but it would suggest we're all connected anyway. And so we're all like walking each other home. Ram Dass, you know, that's a Ram Dass quote, but, or anybody else maybe that it's been attributed to. The point is, close the book on the old story. Because as long as we're, as a society, trapped in this old story paradigm that we've been living, and we're not living true to ourselves, we're letting it be dictated by other forces. And the only way you counter that is by stepping. The old story is the Matrix. That's the old story. Like, you want to escape the Matrix? Get out, step out of the old story. Don't support a dystopian trajectory for us and society and the world. Don't support it, because as long as you're talking about it, you are supporting it. It's like, and I know it's well intentioned, and this is not to be judgmental. I did the same thing for a long. I defined myself by it for so long until I realized that's what I was focusing on and fueling and like putting out into the world. That's the memories and the paradigm. I was living a dystopian future paradigm, and because I was supporting it, because all I was talking about is all this horrible stuff that's going on. This is what they're trying to do. And if we just keep talking about that and supporting that, we're gonna walk right the fuck into it. Even the truth seekers and all that people, you're walking right into it too. You know, stop and think honestly about what controlled opposition really is. Because we can say it's the Russell Brands, we can say it's the Tucker Carlsons, or who the fuck ever. I don't know. I don't watch that much news. I quit paying attention to all those cats. They're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing you are. You're not getting paid for it, therefore it's not controlled opposition. You are underestimating the machine and how it has manipulated your minds. It has you doing the same thing for free. You're not even getting paid for it, but you're doing the same thing. Russell Brand will get on there all day long and talk about fucked up shit that's going on, make us laugh, ha 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 ha, and he gets paid. You guys are doing the same thing all day long. You're just not getting paid. It's the same thing. It's still controlling the narrative. Like the counter, you know, whether you're supporting the narrative or you're supporting the counter narrative, it's still the narrative. It's still the same fucking narrative, and you're still supporting it either side. The only way, create a new narrative, a new story, because as long as you're talking about that shit, you're supporting their narrative. Whether you want to or not, you are. Talk about something else. Start a new narrative. Casey's new narrative was, I'm going to do these live feeds. I'm going to talk about this stuff because this is what people need to be hearing and talking about and listening to and discussing is, let's write a new narrative. I'm done talking about the old story, the old paradigm. Let's new paradigm. Are we going to create it, us human beings on the fucking planet, or are we going to let a system create it for us? Like, what are we going to do? Like, it's up to us. And again, just like I say in every one of these things, it starts with you as an individual closing the book on the old story and the old paradigm that you've been living and writing a new one. And just do it. Just do it, and it gets easier. And the roadblocks get easier because you're not operating from an old story that tells you that this is going to end bad. This roadblock is actually a cliff on the other side. It's going to tell you, no, this isn't even a roadblock. It's not even a speed bump. It's just like an optical illusion created from the heat that makes it look like there's something along the road in your journey, and you just drive right over it. And there's nothing. It's nothing. You just continue right on your journey, and the roadblocks become less and less. And these signs and the maps become clearer and clearer and clearer. There are no more roadblocks. There's only road signs that keep you in the right direction. And as we keep doing that, and more of us do that, again, that's how we change the world. That's how we change the trajectory that we're on as a species, as an entire entity of whatever, you know. It's a lot of living shit on this planet. We're all just one big ball of energy, really. It all comes down to it. But that's the topic for another day. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for letting me rant. I hope some of that made sense, because again, I've been listening to FKJ and consuming some cannabis and being thoughtful. So everybody have a good day. If you're not, again, I hope this helped. Please like, share it, follow me. YouTube page is up now, my name, same profile picture. Please go subscribe. I just put it up yesterday, so I don't think there's any subscribers yet. So a lot of my past videos that I've done here are there. There's some stuff that's going to be going up that'll be exclusive to YouTube, simply because I can't put that kind of content on Facebook, and we'll probably have like an age kind of, you got to know you're 18 or older to view the video kind of thing, you know. So a lot of content that'll be on YouTube that is not on Facebook. And soon, hopefully this week, maybe next week, I'm going to be dropping links to Seed and Spark crowdfunding platform to kind of help with this documentary film that I'm doing. I'm going to finish getting it set up, and I would love for you guys to kind of help support that. It would be fantastic. But at this moment in time, best thing is just love yourselves. Try and be more authentic, be courageous and brave. It's not easy. It gets easier, and the more things you tackle and overcome in yourself, the more your mindset changes, and it just gets easier and easier, and then it's nothing, you know. So have a great day, and go just be great. Love you guys.